Hello and welcome to the channel, or welcome back if you are so inclined. In today's video, we're taking a look at this, the SteelSeries Apex 7 mechanical gaming keyboard. Now this, they say, is from the inventors of the first mechanical gaming keyboard, which says to me, they took a mechanical keyboard, put the word gaming on it, maybe a flashy light or two, and said that they were the inventor. Well done. And it says here as well, SteelSeries, most winning in esports. Great grammar. Great grammar. Anyway, I have spent a lot of time with this keyboard. The last 8 weeks, in fact, I've been using it as my daily driver to give it a proper, thorough rundown. Now, this does have mechanical red switches. They're not from Cherry, however. Now, I did want the brown switches because I am a brown kind of guy, but they only had red in stock, so I went with that. But anyway, without any further ado, let's just get into it, and I'll talk about it for you. So here it is in all its RGB glory. Sorry about this massive cable, by the way, that's more of a pipe. I'll come on to why this cable's so thick shortly, but anyway. Here's the actual keyboard itself. I've got the RGB set to electric orange. It just suits me on an evening. It's not too bright for my eyes, and I can still see all the letters perfectly through the keycaps themselves, which is very, very good. Now, the OLED screen on this I did mention on the Apex 5, so I'm not going to go massively into that. I will show a little bit of the SteelSeries software just to mention it, but that'll be about it. Now, the thing that sets this keyboard apart from others for me is the frame is all metal, even the underside. Now, on the Apex 5 and the Apex 3, this is actually made of plastic, but on here it is aluminium. Now, I haven't mentioned the channels on the back of the keyboard on the other videos because I thought they were fairly self-explanatory. However, these are massive, and again, I'll come on to why the cable's so big shortly. Now, because this is an all-metal frame, you genuinely cannot move it. There is zero depth flex. I'm not sure if the camera will actually pick this up, but it doesn't budge. The table is more likely to flex than the keyboard itself, which is very, very good. I do like durability quite a lot. So as I said, these are red switches. I would have preferred brown. However, they didn't have them in stock, so I settled for reds. Now, I am curious. What colour switches are you? Do comment below. I'm curious who likes what. Now, these are kind of nice switches. I did mention that they're not Cherry, because they're not Cherry MX switches. I can't remember who they are. I'm sure I've got this popping up on the screen somewhere. But they do feel great. They really do. Sometimes when I'm typing, because I'm a hammer typer, they can sound a little bit hollow, but that's more the keycaps themselves than it is the actual switch. Now, they are solid. They are quite sturdy. There is a little bit of wobble to them, but nothing major. If anything, it's less than most I've used before. But they do feel good. I'm hoping the mic can pick this up. Now, I will go into a proper typing test with a headset, just so you can hear what that sounds like later. And we will have a closer look at these specific type of keys, I suppose. We might as well look at them, but for now, let's jump into the SteelSeries software. We'll have a look at this, the OLED display, and these media keys here also. So for this portion of the video, you may have noticed I'm wearing the Arctis 7 headset. Now, that's just because I am going to go through a bit of a typing test to see what you can hear through the headset itself. Now, this Clearcast mic is it picks up quite a lot, and it's a very crisp and clear mic, so if anything's going to detect the keystrokes, it's this one. So I figured it'd be good for a test for it. Now, I did just want to mention the Gateron switches. That's right, I've looked it up. I now know that they are Gateron, and I knew that. It just reminded me. But I wanted to show you a bit of a closer view of the switch itself and the escape key. Now, they are very good. I will give them that, but one thing I did notice with them, I can't actually feel where the actuation point is. There's no real feedback until the key bottoms out. You do feel a bit of upward pressure from the spring itself, but nothing major. But the keystroke itself is remarkably short, which is good. I kind of like that. It just means you can briskly move across the keyboard, especially when gaming. There's no delay with your actual physical motion of pushing the key down, which I rather like. Now, I do want to have a quick look at the OLED screen. I did say I'd mention it, but I'm not going to go massively over this. I have gone over this on the Apex 5 video. I'm sure it's popped up on the screen already or is in the description below. Now, it is kind of fun. You can just doodle your own thing in there through the SteelSeries software. I will touch on it briefly shortly. And you can put your own images in there, and you can also have messages from Discord, which is rather good. I kind of like that. Now, I haven't done a tutorial for that. If it's something that you would like me to do, then do let me know. However, it is rather easy to set up. But if you do want it, just comment below and I'll go over that. Now, I should have shown you this really as well. The volume wheel, the scrolling wheel here. This I very much like. I really do like this. I don't know, it just helps. Even though I could just reach and turn the speakers down, I just kind of like having it just there, which is a really good feature of this keyboard. And the media button itself does all sorts of things. I predominantly use it though, simply for starting and stopping a video, or when I'm listening to music. That's pretty much it. I don't get a great deal of other uses out of it, but the feature is there. So, happy days. But anyway, let's move on and have a quick look now at the SteelSeries software, and we'll have a look at the RGB settings and whatnot. let's go into the actual setup for this. So the Apex 7, it is detecting. Now, I have this connected running through a pass-through at the back of my monitor itself. Now in here, I just want to briefly mention the OLED settings. I said I would, only briefly, I'm not going to go massively in, but here you are, you can change all sorts of things, you can pencil your own thing in there, you can upload your own file, but bear in mind that the picture that you're putting on there should be very, very small. Although this is an OLED screen, it's very, very few pixels, so be mindful of that. And then we've got key bindings, which, again, I'm not going to go massively over, because if you're the sort of person that wants to change all the things, you already know how to do it, you already know what it does. We've also got meta bindings. Now, you can have your own macros on here as well. That should be worth mentioning, because I do use macros for quite a lot of things, and I'm impressed with the simplicity of how you can actually put them together. But let's get on to the bit that everybody wants to see, especially me. The illumination. As you can see, like I said, mine's set to electric orange. It's just the most soothing, but there are many different things you can use in here. So you've got all the standard ones. Now, the reason I use electric orange and not Vapor Dreams or Warp Drive is simply because I like it the best, and it's one that I've not seen other people's do. Although it is just a fading colour between red and orange, it's kind of cool, and I like it. And I don't say that very often about RGB. You can also add loads of different things. So I have mine set so as I click, it's on here online. I'll change it to Ripple for a little while. Now, when you hit a key, that spreads the light out across the keyboard. I think it's already gone on there. Like that, you see. So as I said, there's not a great deal of feeling with the actuation point of this, but the light will indicate it for you. How very, very lovely. And that's pretty much it, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, with the SteelSeries engine for the keyboard itself. I'm sure there's many more things you can do, but like I said, I don't want this video to last forever. But there you are, it's nice and easy to use. So the typing test itself now, I can see that the keyboard is slightly out of shot, but it's the best angle I can actually get. I assure you it's just here. I'm sure you'll be able to see my hands clackety-clacking away. So I figured we'd do a bit of a typing test now. I'm just going to whack some things into Notepad, just to see if you can pick it up. Now, this is a general way that I type, and then I'll go into how I game, because I'm a lot heavier typer than I am when I'm gaming, because I'm sure most of you are. But here we go. So there you are. Now, in terms of gaming itself, obviously, other than the spacebar, then it's rather quiet. Now, I am effectively moving around. Now, I'm not sure if this will be getting picked up. I can see on OBS a slight bit of... Yeah, it's definitely audible, and it's definitely being picked up on OBS, but there you are. I suppose that's the typing test itself. So what else comes with the keyboard, I hear you asking? Well, I'm sure none of you are. However, you do get this. You do get the wrist rest. Now, I've mentioned this before. They do drum it up on here to be, I don't know, a premium wrist rest, they call it. It's not very premium at all, but it does the job, and it is magnetic. So you just whack it on the front of your keyboard and it's done. Now, I'm sure you can pick all this up. I promise I'm a very hygienic person. But to have all of this is just from a couple of days worth of gaming. Now, you can see all up this side where my left palm rests from gaming is very, very dirty, and there's not a great deal you can do about that, which disappoints, because it isn't an overly uncomfortable wrist rest, to be fair. It's quite nice and it does keep you kind of cool, but you do leave marks everywhere. Now, I mentioned the massive pipe cable that comes from the back of this. I'm sure I've got a graphic on screen as to why. Just here on the keyboard there is a USB pass-through, which is very, very good in certain instances, to be perfectly honest, but that does result in this massively thick cable. I'm hoping you can see the girth on this thing, because it is shockingly bad. And you get these two at the end. So one of these is for the keyboard itself, and one is for the pass-through that's over here. Now, I do like that, but the cable is very, very thick. So on the back, as with all the Apex range, you have this channel that runs down here. So you can have the cable routed to come out of the right or the left-hand side of the keyboard, or like my good self, straight down the middle. Now, I have mine coming out of the middle because I run it to the back of my monitor, because I actually run this from a pass-through to the monitor, and I do use this pass-through. So sometimes I'm using a USB pass-through through a pass-through, which is always the most reliable way of doing things. But I did want to mention the channel on this. Now, although the cable is massively thick, around this area it is actually quite malleable. You can easily get it into this, which is kind of cool, because I was expecting a lot of difficulty when I was trying it out, but it does work rather well. Well, all in all, this is a definite recommend from me. I think it's at the price and the build quality, absolutely, why not? The red switches I kind of like, although I said I prefer browns. I do kind of like these. I like that my typing accuracy has become better. I like that I'm quicker on it. I like the SteelSeries software. I've said it before, it's all the same, but I kind of like how user-friendly it is. I like the RGB, I think it's a very good implementation of it, even though I don't really care for RGB. The only downside to me is the cable. That's literally it. But if you want a wireless keyboard that's really good, you're looking at 200 quid plus. That's the reality of things. And yes, none of us have managed to get a 3080, so we've probably all got a spare few quid in the bank. Why not buy peripherals? Or wait for AMD? Or while they're in stock and the bots don't get them all. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you did like this and you do want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. Why not hit the notification bell? If you've watched this far and you don't like the video, thank you for the watch. I'm sorry I couldn't entertain you. But either way, I hope you have a wonderful day, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world. Goodbye.